Hello, my name is Brian Ren. I'm a second year PhD student at McMaster University. My supervisor is Dr. Joey Kish. Thanks to the CREATE CORRECT program, I will conduct high temperature experiment at Queen's University. So the research objective towards this collaboration is to investigate the cyclic effect of the carburizing and wet air oxidizing environment on the chromia forming heat resistant alloy. Queen's University is situated on the traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territories. McMaster University sits on the land protected by this dish with one spoon, one poon agreement, and is a guest on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations. These lands are steeped in rich history. Through the work accomplished in the CREATE CORRECT program, we should keep in mind indigenous interest and the promise of equal prosperous future for all Canadians. My mobility research shall be conducted in Kingston, Ontario. Here are some images of the apparatus available at Dr. Kevin Dabb's lab at Queen's University. The gas feeding system can mix various gases and automatically switch the gas sources. At Dr. Kevin Dabb's lab, we have a furnace that can heat up maximum to 700 degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, the higher end furnace that can hold the temperature at 1100 degrees Celsius is currently not available. Thanks to the Mobility Award funding from the CORRECT program, Dr. Kevin Dabb, Dr. Suraj, Dr. Joey Kish, and me are working together to purchase a higher temperature servicing furnace. It is very likely the new furnace shall be purchased and installed in the coming summer. The primary research objective to develop next generation heat resistant alloy is to improve the ethylene production efficiency and reduce the ethylene production cost. Ethylene is the most fundamental molecule of the modern petrochemical industry. We have milk bottles, laundry detergent bottles made from polyethylene. We have the sewage pipes made from PVC tubes. And we also have anti-freezing liquid in the car made from ethylene glycol. It is easy to conclude that we live in a plastic world, and all the plastics are derived and made from the ethylene. 95% of the ethylene in the world is produced from the steam cracking method. The heavy hydrocarbon is usually mixed with steam and feed into the steam cracking furnace. Then the mixture is heated to 850 degrees Celsius to 950 degrees Celsius. After that, the mixture is quenched very quickly to preserve the desirable secondary product, which is ethylene. So during the ethylene production process, coke as a very detrimental byproduct is formed. This coke layer is usually gasified or removed using the wet air decoking method. Currently, the steam cracking method is the most economic way to mass produce ethylene. The steam ethane coking and the wet air decoking are the two major processing components of the steam cracking process. The current heat resistant alloy uses silicon to slow down the oxidation and carburization rate at high temperature. At high temperature, an amorphous silica layer would form, as you can see from the images here. It is well reported the silica layer would have excellent oxidation resistance and carburization resistant performance. As you can see from the plot over here, the kinetic graph for the oxidation experiment. However, it is well reported that the silicon-containing alloy suffers from oxide spallation or oxide exfoliation. The image on the right shows that partial oxide spallation occurs. The oxide spallation occurs during cooling the sample from 950 degrees Celsius to room temperature. One root cause for such spallation is the huge thermal expansion coefficients difference between the silica oxide layer and the alloy matrix layer. Another root cause for the spallation is the varying oxide thickness. So the oxide that is formed above the silicon-rich region has a thicker oxide layer, and the oxide that is formed in the silicon-depleted region has a thinner oxide layer. Such thickness variation would respond to the thermal stress and thermal strain differently when there is a temperature fluctuation introduced, and such varying straining capability would result in oxide spallation or oxide exfoliation. What I shall learn from the collaboration between Queen's University and McMaster University on the high temperature oxidation and carburization study is how that silicon and rare earth element affect the surface life inside the carburizing and wet air oxidizing environment. The alloy, which demonstrate the best oxidizing and carburization resistance, is assumed to also demonstrate the best performance in the real-world ethylene production. How indigenous people live with the material they produce, and how the indigenous people consume with the material they are using is a great lesson for us regarding how we should produce and consume ethylene related products. The recycling is one of the practice that we should look into to consume the ethylene product sustainably, and such relationship with the product we produce and the way we consume them is indigenous people has been using for many years.